live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey, buzz, buzz, babies. Happy Wednesday. Hope you got some cool new comics to read. Hope you're taking a break, though, to hang out with us live and nerd out. Because I got some work friends on tonight. This is going to be fun. I'm going to hang out with some work friends and talk comics because I work in comics because I'm cool like that. It's so cool if you love freelancing and stress. No, I do love it. It's crazy. Real quick, before we get the guests out, I want to read, we got to switched up the ad read this week, which is very, very exciting. And you're about to find out why. Hey, everyone. Before we dive into today's BUZZIN episode, I've got some incredible news about our sponsor and friend, Michael Adams, and his little blue adventurer, Zor. They've both been nominated for the 2025 Ringo Awards. Zor for Best Kids Comic and Michael Adams for Best Colorist. This is a massive honor, so we're calling on all of you to help push him over the finish line. If you believe in the magic in the heart of Zor as much as we do, please help head over to the Ringo Awards, the final ballot, cast your vote. If you're in the industry, you can vote. And let's make some noise. Go vote for Zor. He's cool. It's actually a really cool book. It's from Keenspot. It's beautiful, which brings me to my next point. And if your eyes light up while you're looking at these pages, maybe think about Mike for that best colorist too. All right. No, but for real, Mike, I'm so stoked. I didn't know that. I knew Zor got nominated. I didn't know Mike got nominated for best colorist. That's so cool, dude. You deserve it. You're awesome. All right, tonight, we've only got one book to talk about, but it's a big fucking book, baby. It's huge. You could say it's giant. Let's bring out the magical minds behind the newest volume of Giant Girl Adventures. I've got to get my hands on the buttons. I've got Sabrina Pandora and Dee Fish. What's up? Oh, man. Comic royalty. Dee, I was real quick, just because like we're working together now, and the more I see your art, it's so fucking good. Oh my goodness. I can't really talk about it, but we sent some emails not long ago about a thing, and it's cool. Oh, it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing. And I got to read the script, and like, I'm so stoked to see what you do on this thing that we can't even talk about, but we can talk about Giant Girl, who's one of my new favorite superheroes and is crazy. Sabrina, this is Giant Girl who's been a part of your life for a very, very long time.
What about 13 years now?
Yeah. So let's travel back. Let's go back 14 years. And we're going to be here a while. We're going to go year by year. It's going to be a journey. But tell us about the Giant Girl. Tell us about the Giant Girl origin, how this happened, what spawned her.
I actually got the idea from a tabletop game, which is where a lot of my ideas come from. For years, it was either tabletop role-playing games or computer games, but I always used those as a testing ground for characters. And I'd often find that the character's backstory and everything else were much more interesting to me than necessarily, the beating up the thread of the week at a tabletop RPG. And Giant Girl was born out of my love of comics. And I decided that I loved the idea of a very, very powerful slacker superheroine who the universe kind of had it in for. And so everywhere she went, she did massive property damage. She was always broke, always one step ahead of trouble. And trouble, of course, always finds her. And so that was what I started with. I ended up finding an artist who was willing to work with me and do the development designs in a gentleman named Koen Leuten from Belgium. And we worked together for about 5 years on volumes 1 through 5 of Giant Girl Adventures. And then,
which you can get as digital add-ons in the campaign right now that we'll talk about shortly, by the way.
That's right. We won't be doing print editions this time around, but those may be in the future. Anyway, and then Dee and I had started writing together on a project and really kind of worked out a lot of creative boundaries and stuff like that. Found that we worked well together, and that we had a good healthy respect for each other's talents. And so then, take it, Dee.
So it was during the height of the pandemic. I was putting one project I'd been working on kind of to bed for a little bit, and a little stir crazy. I was doing all these fun kind of character pinup pieces, and one of the pieces I did was for Sabrina. I did just kind of a little piece of fan art of Ronnie Kane, our titular giant girl, fighting Badonkosaurus, one of her nemesis, and showed it to Sabrina. And we started talking, and we were like, "Yeah, we could absolutely work on something with this project together." She had a script for the next issue in the bag, and we talked back and forth. We did a little bit of development, and we got started on that, and that led to where we're at now.
One thing I've noticed, helping organizing the campaign and stuff, and we have a lot of prints offered for this campaign. So was there a lot of this is stuff that there's these issues, right, or well over 100 pages. So they're really like original graphic novels. So there's tons of art in here already. Where did all these like prints come from? Were you like, when you found out about like the giant girl world, did you just like go nuts and have like notebooks and explore all the, like, I've never really seen like print packages offered like this in a campaign. I thought it was very unique, and I want to shout it out. But B, these aren't just like, these are like prints, fully realized, like not just sketches, not like work from notebooks and stuff. These are beautiful pieces. Where'd these come from?
Well, see, that was part of our business model, was in order to keep the comic afloat and help it pay its bills, i.e. you got to pay your artists. The writers,
good idea.
Yeah, the writers, we never get paid, but you got to pay the artist. You got to pay the art. You can write all day, but if you can't draw it, you got to pay the artist. And so part of the business model was that we offered a pinup every month to a certain level of subscriber, and eventually we realized, cartoon boobs. Is there money in them Nar Hills? And we established a tier for more R-rated content of pinups, and our patrons explained to us in financial terms, yes. And so every month, it's an obligation. We have to get that print out to our patrons, and so all of that art added up over the course of time.
Yep.
And so I, from the beginning, I had planned on offering them as portfolios, because if you're interested in the characters, then the portfolios make for a nice companion piece to them. And they're really, really beautiful illustrations of characters that you may have come to know. And even if you don't, you can still look at them and go, I don't know who that character is, but she really looks neat. Because
like I said, the more I see it, like, the first I saw of Dee was Finding Dee, which is it's hilarious and so human and touching and charming, right? But it's so different to like look at Finding Dee and then look at Dee draw superhero kaiju battles, right? Like, holy shit. I was just like, whoa, like it was really mind blowing. And your style's still there, like a lot of your facial features, the way you draw like eyes and noses and mouths and stuff. Like I can see you, but I don't know. You're a little more detailed in the graphic novel pages and stuff. But it was really cool, like seeing your art in these new ways. And I was like, wow, it's real crazy. Like, do you ever want to just like I guess you do sometimes in Finding Dee, you have like the quirky ones where the monsters come out or like it really becomes like a comic book for a moment and
yeah.
But do you like reel yourself in for those? Because I know though, like when you are doing those new ones, there's such a tight deadline on top of the other deadlines to keep the weekly content and stuff. Like, do you have to like remind yourself sometimes, like, we don't have time for this shit right now, Dee? Like,
not really with Finding Dee.
Nice.
The thing is, creatively, is I'm one of those people where it's like, well, what do you want to do creatively? Everything. But what? Yes, that. Everything. Like, If I had musical talent, I'd be doing that as well, but I don't. Outside of karaoke. I got into comic strips real early on, and I wanted to make comic strips, so I taught myself how to make comic strips, and I started making my own. And then, I'm discovering like superhero comic books, and I want to do those, so I learned how to do that as well. And I'll read a really good novel. I want to write novels, so I'm writing novels. I
You just had one release.
I love cartoons, so I learned how to animate. There's only so many hours in the day.
You didn't you just release a new novel? Like
the third novel drops on Saturday.
The third.
The third in the series. I am currently writing the sixth one.
That's why I was giving you that cue.
I just crossed the 130,000 word mark on the sixth book.
That's very impressive.
I'm about halfway through that one.
Shout out to the chat for noticing the Weeb shirt. I appreciate it. It's $8 at Walmart. It's a Best Buy. Hey John, thanks for tuning in. D, that's crazy. Three novels. I can't imagine all the client work really that you do that people probably don't even know about that pays the bills, right? And then, like I said, I know of a couple projects you got going, and I don't. It's not like I'm your fucking booker, right? Like I don't know like what your life entails. But how do you? What's good advice? A lot of indie people watch the show. How do you balance it? How do you balance it and take care of yourself, or do you not?
Yeah, physical health. Yeah, not as much attention being paid to the cartooning and the novels and all that jazz. Yeah, boundaries for that. I am the worst person in the world to ask what's a good way to set boundaries for how to do this stuff. I've got a day job. When I'm done with the day job, I have freelance projects. I have commissions I'm working on finishing up. I've got a couple of different books that I'm working on the art of for different folks. I've got the Finding D. I've got Sabrina and I have been tinkering on another project in the background. I've got the novels. I try to make time so that me and my wife Heidi can go out and do things and actually see the world and experience light and oxygen outside of this room.
Here it's nice. Yeah.
It's
you can tell I'm pasty fucking white boy. I'm not going. Oh no, I go outside the garden, but I come right back in. It's hot.
Yeah, this is my misspent youth when other kids were like leaving the house and going outside and having friends and doing things. I was sitting in the room drawing. I am the nerd who didn't play Dungeons and Dragons as a kid because you needed friends to do that. It was not a one-player game.
Can I add in on this one?
Yeah.
So when we started doing Giant Girl Adventures together, we were operating on the schedule of a page a week. That was our goal. We were trying to get a page a week out. Try to get a good production model going. And so we went ahead, and before we actually launched with D, we went ahead and built up an 8-week buffer first, because that's all going to go away over time, but it gives you that security. The thing is, as we started working, we did figure out D could get a page done in a week, but at the same time, she couldn't have that much attention devoted to it. So eventually what we started doing was just scheduling out the week, because I would suggest, okay, why don't you take Monday off? And she'd go, I'm going to do Finding D on Monday. I'd go, okay, well, why don't you take Tuesday off? And she'd go, Tuesday might be good. Yeah. And then we'll do roughs on Wednesdays. We'll do red lines on Thursdays, and I'll do inks on Fridays. And then if it has to bleed over into Saturday, it can, and I'll be done and I'll be clear. And eventually we had it down to that, to where she always had her Sundays off. Half the time she had her Saturdays off, because she was picking up speed as we were going along and streamlining the whole process. And that was something that as an author and as an editor and as a creative partner, I pushed for. There need to be some times when I'm not bothering you with stuff that you are working on other things or you're deliberately taking time for yourself. And when I started suggesting all of that, she's, she says she's terrible at setting boundaries like that, but these days she's actually really good about it. She, I know most of the projects that are going on, and I can go, okay, so what's your time block looking like here? What's your time block looking like here? And sometimes I just try to slide one into the stack, and I go, okay, I need this when you get to it. And when you are working in publication, you're working with other people, you have to make a work-life balance, particularly as a writer. And if you're overseeing the project, overseeing is a lot easier than actually doing. And the writing was all done up front. So, other than fine tuning it as you look at the page and go, I'm not really happy with that one line. I should rewrite that. Aside from that,
I was very good. I didn't know what that was for a second. I was like, oh, it's your phone.
That's my phone. But long and short, if you're working with somebody, you have to establish some kind of boundaries. You have to establish something of a schedule so that there's structure to work with. Because if you just keep going at a frantic pace trying to get across the finish line, everybody ends up burnt out. Nobody's friends afterwards. And what you've really got is a work that suffered for it because you pushed too hard, and eventually, not near as much care is going into it. If you look at Dee's pages, you can see how much care she put into them, how much time she put into them, because it's visible on every page.
Yeah, especially what I've seen of the new Giant Girl. Just sometimes there's so many people in a panel. I mean, they may be very small people, but or they may be being tossed around, but it's impressive, like what you can get into a page in a panel. It's fun. It's real fun to watch. It's like I said, it's seeing the different sides of your art, and this new project that that we can't talk about. Like, I'm even more excited to see how that's being handled, just because it's really cool. I wish Laurie was here, because she would get stressed every time I start talking and stop about it. She'd be like, shut up, Blake. But Laurie was going to be here, by the way. I know she's in the YouTube description, but not feeling great. And that happens sometimes, and she's my boss. And so when she needs a break, she gets a break. But I like I said, I wasn't worried about it, because this comic is not a normal comic. It's giant, right? And so I knew we'd have plenty to fill the episode with. And she's been around for a while, right? I knew we'd have a lot. There's a lot of comic to talk about, a lot of history here. And both of you have been on the scene and in the industry a while. I had a question, because I love to manipulate my friends, and my friends love to take advantage of me because we're all wonderful people. I kind of joke, but you mentioned setting boundaries, and you also mentioned being comfortable to work with each other. The longer you work with each other, and the more, sometimes when it doesn't feel like a work relationship, it feels like maybe a sibling or a friend, or does it get harder to keep those boundaries? If you're slammed and you're like, I know Dee could do it, or I know Sabrina could do this for me. Do the relationships ever, I don't want to say you take advantage of each other. I'm not trying to start a fight, right? But when you get comfortable with each other, what you can handle, buttons you can push. I mean, that's the success to any relationship. Is that how your working relationship is on Giant Girl, or is it, you guys really do just respect each other and kick ass?
Almost the reverse. I would say the reverse. Sabrina knows me and my working habits and my working tone. She knows the tone of my voice, the expressions on my face if we're on Discord. Rather than saying, oh, I know Dee can handle this, her spider sense goes off, and it's, Dee's not going to be able to handle this, but she's going to try for 2 or 3 more days, and then she's going to burn the fuck out and freak out. So she has a tendency to see that coming before I do, and jump in the opposite direction. So no, it's not a matter of, oh, how can I take advantage of this? It's oh crap, Dee is getting ready to throw herself on that grenade. I must kick it out of the way first.
Nice.
A
You're
good,
all
a good,
reminding me of how like unhealthy the relationships in my family are. I'm like, do you guys take advantage of each other too, or is it?
I have a great example here. This is
Big Jerry.
so when we when
Sorry,
we had to
when you turned around, you were completely black, and then you just whipped into the light. It was so.
It was like an effect.
It was like
Thank
Phantom
you.
of the Opera. I loved it. Sorry.
The music of the night. When we were getting ready, we knew we were going to do the Kickstarter, and so we knew that we wanted to be able to advertise daily, because you have to be that persistent. You know, the 17th ad that you put out is going to be the first ad that somebody saw.
That's great advice.
And so knowing that we were going to have to do all these ads, and we had originally assumed we were going to do a 30-day ad campaign. I pulled out the print copy, the print proof, and I just started going through the whole thing going, okay, this panel, this page will make a good ad. This panel, this page, because if I leave all of the layout and the artwork choices and the copy of the ads all up to her, she'll do them. She'll do it. But it's deeply unfair of me to do. Whereas all I had to do was, spend a little time, do the advance work. And then when she and I sat down to do the ads, I'm like, okay, so this page, this panel, I'm thinking this is an ad we can do for this. And she built a framework real quick and we just started knocking them out. So it's teamwork. Again, a mutual respect. No, I know that she will do all of the work if I just leave it there. So that means to me, well, I could take advantage of that, or I could not, crap on my creative partner and instead, hold up my end of it and make sure that it's, a little more equal weight distribution of the load. And we do that all the time. If I need something really bad and I need it pushed up in the queue, I'll say, when do you have time? I don't say I need it now, because that's not the right answer. Sure, you need it now, but the real question is, when can you tend to it? Look to the other person's needs. And if that makes you understand that your family is deeply dysfunctional, I apologize, but welcome to the club.
No, they're not that bad, but it's
we don't develop these skills coming from healthy backgrounds.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. You learn to set boundaries after you get taken advantage of, typically, right? And
you'll notice how many of my personal family members show up in Finding D. It's a round number.
Well, Heidi.
Personal family. The family that I came with before Heidi.
Relatives.
Yes.
I like the word relatives. They are related to you. That does not make them family.
The number of my relatives. Very wise, yes.
Speaking of the difference between relatives and family. For a second, I thought that was toilet paper, and I was like, "Whoa!" They're like,
no, "This is toilet paper," because my tissue box is empty.
Yeah. Okay. If I didn't live in a house that had Kleenexes, I would use toilet paper for Kleenex.
Yes,
I see no reason that we need to put toilet paper in a box to blow our nose on. It's silly.
And you'll note my nose goes off that away. I have a deviated septum, so I have a perpetual 24/7, 365 runny nose. It's so fun.
It's the best.
All through COVID. You've got the Rona. No, I have a deviated septum. It's always doing this.
My dad. my dad is a huge pot smoker, and so if we were going places during COVID, he'd get out of the car after hitting the Benjamin or whatever, just be like, have his mask on, and be like, people are like, ah! It's like, no, it's okay, he just took a hit in the car.
No, he doesn't have the Rona, he's just stoned.
Yeah, it's just high. Anyway.
Sorry, it's not me. It's the chronic.
Yeah, but it was crazy. Like, coughing or clearing your throat, like, is like you hear that, it like echoes through the silence of a supermarket. Oh man, those are fun times. I miss it. I wasn't working in comics yet either. Like, I was working at a call center. It sucked. Oh, it sucked. The only thing that didn't suck was before the company started like losing money and having to fire people, it got so dead because we worked in like real estate and like no one was buying real. And so like we were getting full-time way, like we were watching Netflix and shit at work. Like, as the phones rang, you had to answer it, but no one was calling. So like that was pretty cool. Other than like the whole business, other than like the mass death and sadness and sickness,
there's that.
The world will be forever different. But yeah, it's
But it was
comics
great for my outlet.
Yeah, I mean, well, so many great, yeah, so many great comic book stories and new partnerships and new relationships, and this have happened because and around COVID and because of people trapped, not needing to do something. So I mean, it was cool that some stuff came out of it, right? Other than anyway. I wrote we've already gotten to COVID. We haven't brought up the Kickstarter page yet. So it's who wants to Sabrina while I scroll through. By the way, rocking and rolling every day. It's just like pledges come through. All you backers are so phenomenal. Everybody, 221 backers, 5 days left to go. Still got stretch goals, have stretch goals all the way up to the 30,000, the 25. There's a few more now.
They keep stretching, we'll keep going.
Yeah, we got more. You made us make more. I had to make the graphic. We had to extend the stretch goals. They had to be stretchier. And we were happy to do it anyway. But yeah, the next one, in just under $1,000, another cool one. I won't say what it is, but it might be an upgrade to a tier already on, might be. I'm so good at spoiling shit.
I was gonna say, I'll spoil it. I don't mind.
Oh, if you want to, you can. Yeah. What do they get?
Yeah. See, because we've already got the silk ribbon in the hardback.
Yeah.
And so of course, if they could keep bringing it along, then we're gonna go, well, got to have a dust jacket for a classy book like this, right?
Oh, and once you see the dust jacket, it's so good. Oh, it's so good.
I want this tier unlocked because I want one.
Yeah, everybody wants this tier unlocked.
I don't even like dust jackets on books, but I want one.
Okay, super. All right, time out. I've heard this before and I don't understand. I mean, like, I take them off when I read, but I guess I don't like, what's the problem with dust jackets?
For me, when I'm reading a book, I don't leave fingerprints and stuff. I don't mar the surface. But dust jackets seem like scientifically designed to pick up every fingerprint and every everything that could possibly happen. So again, I'm just like you. As soon as you hand me the book with the dust jacket on it, I take the dust jacket off, set it aside, and then I read the book. And when I'm done with the book, the dust jacket goes back on it and it goes on the shelf. That's just me, though.
So I was trying to Eric from Laguna he says, do a Laguna shout out like a wrestler and he'll send a giant girl sketch to the person who does it, but I would be the one doing it. I'm confused. But if you need to know, hold on. Giant Girl is live on Kickstarter and ready to rumble. From Laguna Studios, Sabrina Pandora and Dee Fish comes the biggest, sexiest, babelicious superhero you've ever seen between two hard covers. Now we throw hers, Eric. So I guess I get a sketch. I don't know what happens now.
Oh my God, that Kickstarter had a family.
I ruined it all. But by the way, I don't know if anybody.
You'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the
This stuff, if you just back at any physical tier, or you could get physical print packs, soft cover, hardcover. But anyways, you do get the Giant Girl magnet, awesome die cut sticker set, metal bookmark. You just get those for backing at a physical tier now, which is pretty dope. And we still got stuff to unlock. It's exciting. All right, so blah, 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 blah. Tell us, Sabrina, about, because this is a different kind of Giant Girl. We got some fantasy sci-fi elements coming in. Center us in, and possible new readers. By the way, if you are a new reader, you can hop on at any point. It's super easy to hop in and have a blast. But shoot us with the story pitch.
That.
Oh, no problem.
So first and foremost, this volume 6 is the comprehensive volume. You don't have to know everything that came beforehand in order to enjoy this book. It has her origin story built into it, which we finally get around to telling. And this is a self-contained story. If you want to know more after reading this book, you can go to the back catalog and find out all about Badonkosaurus and Kaiju Island and Admiral Action and Action Atoll and all the other things. The way the story starts out is she is a superhero in a superhero universe. You know, she exists in an existing superhero universe. However, she gets kind of blackmailed by a powerful witch to go help an adventuring party on a quest because they're going against the giants. And so Giant Girl goes to a fantasy world, and being very, very, very super powered, she controls her size, her density, and her mass, and she can control those things of anything she can touch, and she can get as big as she wants. So, you know, that no upper limit cap on as big as she wants really is what sets her apart. And once she's there in the fantasy world and she joins the quest, the locals kind of view her as a titan because she is literally like one of the titans of old. She strides across the earth unimpeded by anything that she encounters. And one of the readers came back to me a while ago and said, "Hey, you know, it seems like she's not really ever in any danger." And I'm like, "Not physically, no. You know, she's pretty much in control of the situation most of the time, and she's very much in command of her abilities." But that doesn't apply to the people around her, and that's where she starts seeing where her choices have consequences, and she starts making more active choices than reactive choices. You know, if you're going to write Giant Girl adventures, pose with Godzilla, right?
Yeah, it's stay on brand.
So it's very much her journey through the course of it, but there's a lot of supporting characters in the adventuring party as well, and we'd like to think that they get a lot of character building in the pages of the book as well. Overall, it's an adventure yarn. It is Giant Girl Adventures, and while we do put her through some of the hero's journey through the course of this, and she does learn a little bit. You know, she doesn't come out of it a flawless human being in the end. She's still kind of relatable. And that's what I was aiming for, is I wanted a relatable heroine. I wanted somebody who had just amazing amounts of power. But as she points out at one point, she never bothered to make herself any smarter. Because once you start tinkering with your intelligence, then you start viewing human life as kind of an experiment, and you start losing your humanity.
Ooh.
So these are things that she's grappled with, but at the same time, there's a lot of cheesecake and wisecracks too. So, you know, we balance, I think.
Nice.
Dee?
I like a good balance like that. This was an intriguing reward, a full size life size standee of Giant Girl. What prompted this to be made, and like how how big was like? Did you draw like a 5.5 foot? However, I'm not sure on the exact height. It's just under 6 feet, I believe. But like, did you draw the whole like, or did you like draw like a giant picture and then printed it? Like, where did this idea come from?
The idea came, you know, like we've done standees for the Finding D Kickstarters, and they're all, you know, life-size standees head to toe. But the thought of with Giant Girl, it's like, yeah, we could have done a head-to-toe Giant Girl thing where she would have been about 6 feet tall, and that's not really very giant. So the idea was this pose where she's leaning, you know, she's on her elbows, leaning on her arms, and just that from the waist up, so that she can in fact be Giant Girl in the standee. I mean, she can be literally as big as she wants to be at any given point, which is fun for Lexi the Pixie on her shoulder, because if she's sitting on Ronnie's shoulder and Ronnie decides to become the size of a mountain, you now have a pixie that's 40 feet tall.
Oh, that's right, because she can touch the stuff. Oh, cool.
Yep.
Nice. So that means, I guess, if you were both mentioning, we have a work group chat, right? And you were mentioning like the giantess fetish kind of, and how like that's a
It's a big thing.
Yeah, you were finding out like how popular it is, and now did you explore more of that, lean into more of that when you mentioned how you started doing like the not safe for work stuff? As I keep scrolling, you'll see some of the not safe for work portfolios. Did you lean into that branding at all once you kind of found that out, or do you have like is a lot of your audience, or like they like do they want that? Like, are you like kind of playing into your like, what is it? Or is it like, I'm curious.
Pander often, pander early.
Okay.
Ronnie herself on like the second page of the book immediately shoots up in size to a mini giantess size, like twice her normal height. There's fans of that. There's more than once in the book where she's about twice somebody's size and she gives them a big old bear hug. There's fans of that. One of the characters that they encounter in the book is Stratonimbus, the storm giantess, and she's a big muscle giantess. You know, she's got all the big beefy corded muscles and such. When Ronnie is exerting herself, when she's doing something, you know, that requires a lot of physical exertion, you watch her abs suddenly snap out, because that's a fetish. We understand the hypertrophic, the exaggerated woman right there on screen. There are fans of that. We know that there are giantess fans, there's kaiju fans. We cover a lot of ground, and give the fans what they want. I mean, literally, her arch frenemy is Badonkosaurus. You know, well, why is she named that? Well, you know, there's a reason, and it follows her around. I'm just saying.
I've always because I've heard men, like I used to be a bouncer, right? I worked in a bar for many years, and you know, a lot of men would talk about like, you know, not just necessarily like a bigger woman, right? But I you know, like muscular, taller than you, you know, like, and they would be like, oh no, and I was like, fuck that, like, you know, like I thought they were beautiful. Like I'm scrolling on fucking TikTok or whatever, and like you see like the women weightlifters and that like look like they could pick me up and like throw me around. I'm like, yes, like that sounds like a good time. I'm sorry. So like, no, I totally get it. And then you know, all the converse side of it, you know, because like, you know, I am a big dude, so I can grab people, throw them over my shoulder, you know, like that part feels good too. But yeah, there's a lot of mechanics at play. And when I heard you both talking about your audience and then knowing the, you know, not safe for work offerings and stuff, I was kind of like, you know, just from a marketing standpoint, like, yeah, it does. It kind of makes sense to get a little weird with it, right?
Well, and Lexi is a little girl, you know, she's miniature. And so just her normal sized around Ronnie makes Ronnie look that much more gigantic. And, you know, that's why Lexi is always like grabbing a boob or something, because, you know, there we go. There's Lexi resting comfortably on the mouse pad.
The extra ergonomic mouse pad, rumored but not medically proven to cure carpal tunnel. We're still waiting on a response from that, but like I said, rumored, not medically proven. But for $25, might as well. Like, you know, your wrist will fit.
It's worth a gamble.
Yeah, it's worth. I mean, what else are you gonna do with $25? Go buy McDonald's Ninja Turtle toys? I mean, yeah, I'll do that too. But you know, do both. And then all the add-ons, all the stuff you've seen, you can pledge, you can get stuff added on. I really like.
You can get a D sketch inside your book.
Yep.
For like cheap.
Yeah.
$20 for $20, or I'm sorry, $30 for the headshot. Let's see, and then what is it? 40 or 60 for the bust, and then full body 100. Like D can fucking draw too. Like I will say this all the time. One of the best parts about Kickstarter, I mean, other than like the community and just how miracles happen and it's magical and stuff, but you can get really great art usually for amazing prices. You can get like covers that, you know, some big names do for crazy cheaper than you would at like a table at a con or an art dealer. Just like these sketches, like it's great prices they'll make your soft cover or hardcover look way better. So definitely check out the art tiers you can get here. We got a lot of ways you can spend money. And here we go. Like I was showing off the stretch goals again, and we had to add some. So we've got 3 more at 20. Well, we got a 7. We got one at 17. We got to get to 17.5 first. We found a graphical mistake from your designer live on the air. For less than 17.5. Fuck.
I think 17.5 got pulled because it is anticipated that she's going to break it that soon.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, strategery. That's what it was.
Oh, she may. We've jumped up a little bit.
Have we? I haven't looked. Hold on, let's see. We made it. We made it through the page.
Somebody has backed.
16.8, 222. Hey. Well, thanks whoever did that. That's awesome. By the way, we got the book. Supporting indie comics is rad, by the way, just in case anybody knows. By the way, we got David. Thanks for tuning in. So appreciate this dude's signal boost. This dude's all over hyping indie comics on Facebook.
Absolutely.
What a fucking gem, sir. My buddy Cole, dude, you always show up just in time for the hot dogs. You know what? I will talk hot dogs because I noticed today your boy hasn't had a dog in a hot minute, and I got buns and no dogs.
That's what I had for dinner. I'm fine.
Oh, see, that's why you look good, D. You look wonderful. I need to be.
I had hot dogs for lunch.
See, I haven't had any. If anybody follows me, you know I ate 10 tacos yesterday, and I've been having a rough day. I went a little hard on Taco Tuesday. My dad and I found this taco place, and it's 5 tacos for $5.99, and you can get the fried shells, and I love them, and they're cheap and they're fine, and they got really good salsa verde and red sauce too, right? So. Anyways, we've been going there on Tuesdays. Well, they opened up a new one down the street. So it's finally open. So my dad, we're all excited. Man, they were good. Like restaurant just opened. So it's like fresh and like everything. It just tasted great. And I ate $10 tacos. And on 10, I was like, you don't want it. And like, I was like, give it to the dogs, you know? And I sent a picture to the group chat, you know? And I was like, I ate nine tacos, and they were like, eat it, you wuss, like, do it. And I was like, fine, I ate it. And I knew eating it. I was like, you're stupid. And then, I woke up about midnight, stomach like, rah, fuck you, buddy. Like, yeah. So anyway.
I beg your pardon. I have notes. That's your stomach emotion.
Yeah.
This is the equivalency of your stomach. It had notes. Yeah, I haven't been able to do anything like that since like my late 20s, early 30s. It's been a long time since.
Since your power eating days, when you said I can eat the whole pizza.
It was a good. I was hyped for that Just Go campaign.
A whole pizza.
Well, see, I do that. I'll have A's. That'll tummy ache me, but I haven't had. I was down like most of the day. Like I was having to work today, and I was uncomfortable, and I was just it was fun. I know that's what everybody tuned in to
My
find
father
out.
said, as you get old, your conversations are going to revolve around your ailments, your medications, and your bowel movements. Should we move into medications and ailments next?
By the way, shout out to my work, Prana DM. You should follow them. We do a really cool show on YouTube here. YouTube. That's hard to say. I produce it, or well, I co-produce it with Steph, and I edit it more than produce it now. Steph Kirk is the producer. It's a good show. It's all about comic book. The comic book retail side. Been talking a lot about crowdfunding lately. It's been fun. Back on hot dogs, man. Wow. Did you put it on I just remember when I was a kid, I hated this, but as an adult, I could care less. But like when people would give you a hot dog on like a square piece of like white bread, I'd be like, it's not a hot dog, but it doesn't taste the same.
I just had bread. I was fine with my bread.
I was a privileged child.
I tend to go diagonal across it. It holds the hot dog a little better.
Nice.
I laid out lunch. We actually had company over. A buddy of mine came over to spend some time. And so I laid out lunch for everybody. Everybody had hot dogs on white bread. And I said, we have no buns because we are white and poor. and my friend looked at me and said, why, how coincidental. I too am from the Texas poors. We too never had hot dog buns. And I was like, oh, well, how delightful.
Okay, but have you ever done hot dog grilled cheeses? Because I did this the other day, and I was like, I don't know why I didn't do this as a kid. Because you take the regular piece of bread I used to bitch about, slap a piece of Kraft American on that bad guy hot dog, fold it in half, triangle style, and then grill it like in a skillet. That's the best. I did that the other day. I was like, this is amazing, and I just no one taught me that.
It's like a pig in a blanket.
Yeah.
But as a
Pretty
grilled
cool.
cheese.
Yeah.
I am totally doing that.
Yeah. Party on.
Let's
go. Let's go. I hope we appeased Cole with the hot dog chat. He says, oh, we don't usually, they do make, he does post a lot of pics of homemade
My wife makes bread. It's different.
I'll usually cut the hot dogs in half for that and then lay like 2 of them out on the sandwich.
Okay. Okay. I see.
Instead of folding it over, just making a regular sandwich out of it. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you can when you cut them in half like that, you can char the hot dogs initially and get that char flavor, and then put it in the grilled cheese. Yes.
I love that. I love getting my hot dogs a little crispy before I eat them. Like I love like fried bologna and cheese sandwiches too. But yes, 9 is the limit. I think next time I'll probably go 8. I would go 8 probably and stop just in case. Because I lost a lot of daylight today. I had a late start to my day. I won't lie.
I call that doing a lot of research.
Chat listening.
I call that doing a lot of research. Cause
I was doing a lot of I got some reading done. I finally read Absolute Batman. It was really good. I couldn't escape though. I wish I read it under better circumstances, Scott Snyder, but it was a good book. People weren't lying.
It gave you time.
Yeah, it gave me. I got some time, but no peace. Intermittent peace. We won't get too into that though. That's fine. I want to go back. You made a joke. And Alex Ross, Dee made a joke about Sabrina posing like Alex Ross in the green room. And I was wondering, because I know you're both big comic nerds, and who were some of your like comic book inspirations? You have a unique hero story, right? But it is still a hero story, and you strategically and righteously follow a few of those tropes, right? In good ways. Those are weird. I'm not saying it's like it's. I'm gonna shut up. Anyway, you know how to superhero is what I'm trying to say. So like, where did who taught you best how to superhero?
I very much loved the work of Keith Giffen. As a writer, he was always one of my favorites, and also his visual style often influenced how I tried to pace things, which was not necessarily the best thing for me, because that just meant I kept trying to pack too much into a page oftentimes. A lot of Keith Giffen. I've read a lot of Alan Moore, and trying to come up with Evan Dorkin, oddly enough, is a big influence, because just the unflinching gaze that he can turn on himself in order to be a lens for fandom is incredible to me. And and Kyle Baker. I can't leave out Kyle Baker, because Kyle Baker taught me how to write for a cartoonist. Like I can tell Dee, hey, in the background, can we have somebody Kyle Bakering? And what it means is I need somebody in the background who's making a big, easily interpreted, broad expression of body language that is going to sell as a little background element of what's going on. And she knows what I mean. And so those are primarily my influences that I would cite, other than, of course, I learned a lot about comic structure and how to actually do comics from Howard Chaykin.
Nice. I love that you started that off with Giffen, because it was like 2 years ago. I think I bought the first 2 volumes of like the JLI omnibuses, and like they don't feel old, right? Like that feels like a modern comic, like modern problems, modern politics.
It's timeless.
Yes, and it's funny. It's funny and quirky, and I don't know, like the hype really. And I think there's 3 volumes of it out now. But yeah, it, like when everybody was buying those, and when I bought them, and everyone was like, "You're gonna love it, you're gonna love it." Like, yeah, the hype. It's just a joy to read. It's a good place to learn some superhero. And what about you, Dee?
Oh God, I could do this list for an hour and a half.
Let's go. We're here.
Different influences, like within the comic strip stuff. It was definitely like Schultz and Jim Davis and Berkeley Breathed and Bill Waterston. But in comic books, I always make a reference. It was probably Romita Jr. and Roger Stern's initial run on Amazing Spider-Man that really made me take a look. Because there was Spectacular Spider-Man, which was fine, but then I'd pick up Amazing, and I'm like, well, why does this look so much better? And that's when I started realizing, when I follow the name of the person whose work I liked, Walter Simonson, when he took over on Star Wars, and all of a sudden it was so much more dynamic. And well, then that name popped up when I'd read, Thor or something else, or that X-Men Teen Titans crossover. And I learned, people make comics. I'm a people. I can do this. So yeah, there's a lot of creators that I followed early on. I loved. I didn't get into the Byrne X-Men until later on. Like, I discovered it a little later. So I came into it with the Paul Smith Claremont run, and that to me is still a high watermark of just a masterful storytelling and insane artwork.
I forgot to mention Archie Goodwin, because he and Walter Simonson's Manhunter was absolutely seminal in my love of comics. It's to this day, I still look at it and marvel at the accomplishment. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but I had
no worries.
Archie Goodwin.
Yeah, Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema's Rom run was fucking amazing, especially right around like the issues in the 30s or so, when Rom just straight up went from being it's the Space Knight fighting some space bad guys to no, it's a straight up fucking horror book, and it's terrifying. By modern standards, some of the shit that happened in that book is darker than fucking dark. And the gorgeous artwork. But I was all over the place in the things that got me excited. The Art Adams stuff on X-Men and New Mutants, the New Mutants annuals, the Asgardian saga that they did. you know, every year there'd be a new annual from X-Men, and it would be Art Adams for a few years in a row. And I after a long shot, I worship at the altar, still do.
I still own my original long shot issues.
Whoa.
They are ratty, but only because they have been read so many times. Because I was like, oh my god, who is this Art Adams guy?
Yeah, and then Ann Nesenti who wrote that, and then she went on and did Daredevil with Romita Jr. and Al Williamson, which is one of the greatest artist pairings ever. On Daredevil, that was fucking amazing. There were I loved when Louise Simonson and Walter Simonson were doing X Factor together. That was an amazing run. I loved Louise Simonson and June Brigman on Power Pack, and then John Bogdanove, where Bogdanove is a definite watermark for me before Kyle Baker, because there was a lot of incorporation of the cartoony aesthetic in his Power Pack. Like, the characters had that same level of animated expression and body language. And that book gets ragged on a lot. Oh, it's a kid's book. No, it was not. Its original run was not a kid's book. It was a Marvel comic book in the Marvel universe, dealing with all the normal shit that was happening in every other book that happened to star kids. But, like, they had a crossover with the Mutant Massacre storyline in X-Men. That book was dark too. There was some dark shit happening in that book. It just happened to be little kids were your main characters being horribly traumatized by existing in the Marvel universe.
Well, that's one of my favorite. One of my favorite X-Men runs is like it's way newer, and I read it like on accident because I was reading Brubaker's X-Men stuff, and when I read like Messiah, I read like Messiah Complex, and then like I went back and read like Academy X and like that New Mutant run that was around then. And it was, and like all these kids fucking die, you know, and it's very bright colored too. Like it looks, it almost looks like an all ages book, but it's very much an X-Men book, and they're training, and like Cyclops and Cyclops and oh my god, Emma are running the school. It's a weird time. Anyway,
it's bright and colorful and deadly.
And deadly. But yeah, like all these kids die from like the religious cultist mutant haters, right? And it's so dark, and there a lot of them are like falling in love for the first, you know, and then like their new girlfriend dies, and like in a bus explosion, and it's just like, damn, man. But so yeah,
mutant hating scum.
I know, like
oh yeah, where they gave them the greatest name ever for the mutant hating organization, Orky, which is I get it, it's named after the orchid and all that jazz, but like for transgender creators, that word has a very different.
Oh, I didn't know that. I feel like when you shorten
something awful.
Yeah, like nasty shortened names should just not happen. I just feel, you know, like they're just always bad, you know.
Yeah, they called their organization Orchia, ORCHI. Yeah, add ectomy to the end of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at what happened at Valiant and that new fucking Bloodshot issue. Like with they were using vampires, right? But it was like, my son's gonna watch this person on TV and turn into a vampire. Like, fuck off, bro. Like, you know, like,
yeah, that was about as subtle as a brick to the head.
Yeah. So, but no, that's on that note, I am you know, I'm glad that you're all here fucking telling cool stories and putting your voice and your art out, because and your heart out, your voice, your art, and your heart out. Right, there you go. Because I think we need it. And I really like the books I've seen from both. Sabrina, this is the first stuff I've read from you, but like I said, it's fun and it's wild. It's like honestly, it's like goofy and sexy, right? It's you know, I like it's, and it's different. And it has a voice and a narrative with a good message, and you do that just like Dee does in Finding Dee, right? Like you learn about Dee's life and kind of learn about yourself and think about things differently while you read Finding Dee, and you guys are kind of able to do that with you're not beating people over the head, right? But you're giving them like good scenarios and interesting interactions in weird universes.
Maybe think of them as people.
There you go. That like
it's a very subtle message, but it runs throughout the entire narrative. Is maybe think of them as people, because that's a real problem in today's society.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see other people as people, and they don't feel that they need to be treated as people, and they would very much like to see them treated as non-people. And the problem is, when you start treating people as non-people, it doesn't stop with the people you want to be non-people.
Yep.
But, apparently history needs to reteach that lesson every so often. So we get to watch it.
Yeah, I know. It's I keep thinking, well, I know this is naive of me and aggravating too, because like, my parents paid a lot for a private school education, and there's a lot of shit that I didn't learn, but they made us go to church and take these religious classes, and and so like, and my dad, I remember like there was one time my dad was working like 3 jobs. Like he was like a maintenance man, and he was picking up shifts at a gas station and pest control, like to pay for like my sister and I to go to private school. But like, there was just all this stuff that like no one fucking taught us, and now it's like, I found out the other day, I was like, I couldn't imagine like if my grandpa was still alive, who like fought in World War II, and like see these fucking people with these like Nazi armbands and these Nazi flags and marching and waving them around, and then I found out that like, oh, I just haven't seen it on TV before, but it's been around. And I'm like, man, like why the fuck didn't we learn about this in like history class? There's just so much. I learned about it in an Ed Brubaker book, in an Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips book. They talked about the underground Nazi clubs that were in America, like after the war. And I was like, I never fucking knew about that. And then I started researching it after I read, I can't think of the book name. It's that sort of Western they wrote a few years ago. But anyway, like that shit blew my mind. And so, yeah, it's, unfortunately, I don't want to be taught the lesson like this, but I think you're right. I think we're fucking dumb. I think so many of us are dumb, are just so dumb. And I think with dumbness comes ignorance, or like it's a different kind of ignorance and hatred, right?
I perhaps ignorant, but not dumb. Don't assume people are dumb.
That's true. A lot of them are doing stuff on purpose.
And a lot of them are doing it not because they're dumb, but they're doing it because they're malicious. So,
Yeah.
But let's keep talking about comics.
Yeah, comics. sorry.
It's on me. I steered it that way.
No, I
drew a real world allegory.
Yeah. You start talking about treating people as people, shit gets every time. It's someone.
Comics are all about fun.
Comics are all about fun and giant women with bulbous breastises saving one fantasy planet at a time, fighting giants for a moment till anyway. Where else are some places like where you're taking Giant Girl like across universes and stuff, like when you're like playing with like fantasy genre, you're kind of playing around with sci-fi. Have you played around with like a Giant Girl horror special, like taking her someplace like scary, creepy, putting her up against like a different kind of monster? Has that ever been a thought? I haven't read everything, so I'm sorry. If you already have, I'm sorry.
It's totally fine. Yeah, she's had some creepy adventures as well. She's moved through a genre or two, usually wisecracking as she does. She volume 3, I think, is Satan's School for Girls.
Oh, nice.
That's where she literally fights her way through Satan's School for Girls. And the conclusion of that one is really, it's pretty dark, honestly. So, yeah, Giant Girl moves through a lot of genres. The first book, the first volume is just an adventure yarn. The second volume is actually Badonkosaurus' story, and it's very much told kind of manga style, because she's a Japanese character and she's a kaiju and all that. Then the fourth volume, I think we've got the Fast Food Illuminati, which is a commentary on fast food and how, the we pay our tithing for our daily bread, and we carry their sigils with us everywhere we go. That sort of thing. You know, my brand loyalty is to Starbucks. Really? That's where you define your identity, like a religion? And the more you start looking at that level of consumer branding, it really does start resembling religions. And so we examine that one in an episode. So, you know, it all looks like funny giant girl flopping her butt on the ground jokes.
There's layers.
But we cover a lot of ground, and there are definitely layers. And there's a large and expansive cast in the world around her. And Dee, take it. I'm stuck.
Parfaits are delicious. They have layers.
What would you tell people? You know, if sitting through, they stumble across this on YouTube, or they stumble across the Kickstarter page, and they're scrolling around. Oh, man, this art looks cool. Like, why do they need to back this book? What's like a real quick slap you in the face? You can't leave without this thing.
This is a incredibly compelling, incredibly fast-paced kitchen sink yarn that has got everything you might want in an adventure comic book in it. It's one of the things that drew me to the book to begin with as an artist, was that nothing's off limits in this book in terms of what kind of crazy shit can happen. Just when you think you've got a handle on where the story is going, we take left turns. We do all different kinds of stuff that she has to go through in this, all these different things. There is comedy, there is pathos, there is a musical number, there is you know, horrific things that happen, and incredible choices that have to be made, life or death choices, and
the art is spectacular.
Damn.
I can't say that part.
I can. Really, I wrote a good story, and I will say I wrote a good story, but really we created a good story, because once we started interacting, Dee had as much influence over the story as I did, and I welcome that, because again, collaborate, bring more to the table. And I can absolutely say there is no page of the book that we're not proud of. There's no one page where we're like, we kind of phoned it in on this one.
Yeah.
That one spot looks a little weird, but no, we made this the best possible book that we could, because if you're going to come out and take a chance on giant girl adventures that you've never heard of before, then by gosh, we got to knock your socks off. We want to show you what we can do. And we did, because it is a fantastic book.
That's awesome. Everything I've seen of it is killer. And what like I said, I haven't read all 5 volumes, but like I had a blast reading I've read the first couple so far, and like was kind of scrolling through looking for assets and stuff for the other stuff for the page and stuff. But yeah, it's a cool world. She's a cool lady. I dig her. Right. I like following her around for the adventures. I like that she's kind of like a fuck up, right? Like she's not Superman. She's not Supergirl, right? She's got the power, but she's got a conscience too, but she can let it slide every now and then, you know, so I like that. I like how human and imperfect she is.
Yeah. It's what you get to find out what happens when you take a slacker superhero who has virtually unlimited power, who's used to playing in a world, but that it's a superhero universe with superhero rules. You're going to beat up the bad guy, and the cops are going to take him away, and she gets dropped into this world of swords and sorcery and magic and wizards and goblins and giants, and all of a sudden, all those rules are out the fucking window. And all the I'm used to fighting this chick with giant cyborg bunny legs and her army of bunny robots, and they're going to rob a bank. And wait, that's 10 million goblins now, and they want to eat me. They're actively trying to eat me right now. And it's kill or be killed. It's she has to flex muscles she's never had to flex much before. Only a couple of times has she ever had to face up against things that strain her abilities throughout this series. And that's something that she has to learn how to, pun intended, grow through, to grow to be the kind of hero she needs to be in a world that needs a different kind of hero.
Because there's actually a great page. There's the Paladin. Remember you said, she's not perfect. She's a fuck up. Yeah. There is somebody who's perfect in the book, though, who thinks she's in charge up to a certain point. And at one point, that's the Paladin of the adventuring party. And at one point, she delivers the speech to Ronnie, and she explains to her how D&D works. This is a world of kill or be killed. By facing them in battle, we give them a fair chance. But you, just by virtue of your presence, change everything. And you keep trying to do this like a superhero, and this is what happens. And she kind of sums up how the life of murder hobos in D&D actually works. So I was pretty proud of that speech, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, is there a lot of, because you're big in you're both pretty big tabletop nerds, right? Or do you?
I am, not her.
Oh, I thought okay.
I
thought you were cool, D. Never mind.
As previously stated, I didn't have friends when I discovered D&D. I tried playing with my brother.
It was just D, no ND.
My older brother had gotten into it, and he had a friend that they were trying to play, and I tried kind of, can I play? My character got killed off walking from the tavern. Like, just... boom, you're dead. Get the fuck out. Go away. So I read a lot of the books, and I've absorbed the art, so I was aware of the iconography of it. But most of my knowledge from it came from either skimming through those books to look at the art or the cartoon. By the time I actually had friends, I was just like, fuck role playing. I'm just going to write my own comics and tell my own stories.
I keep buying some books, but I haven't got to play yet. Like, and I bought like the new Marvel one, the Marvel tabletop.
I found that at Ollie's. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty fun. Like, but yeah, I haven't found people to get into it yet. My sister and brother-in-law and cousin all play by them, not with me though. So like, there's people around here that want to play, but anyway, yeah, I'm with you, D. I saw a meme, and it was very funny, but it rings very true. And it was just like, you think you're popular, or no, you think you have friends until you want to play D&D. Yeah, and it was like someone like standing alone in a park, like, and it was like, and I was like, well, shit, that's true though. You're like, I know all these people. You start like, who wants to play this guy? They're gone.
There is quite possibly no greater irony in this world than the game that is custom made for lonely nerds requires friendship.
And when it comes to that, it's actually kind of fun, because I'll put in the script, hey, I need her to be punching a Ramoraz over here. This is what a Ramoraz is.
Yep, she'll drop the reference in the script.
To veer off topic a little bit, we're currently working on a different fantasy project, and one of the elements of it is I try to make sure that I do a monster strip at least twice a week. And so with that in mind, I'm constantly digging monsters out and going, let's see, what wisecrack can we make today? And let's see, I think I can share one with you because it's been published. But Dee doesn't know the monsters and the settings and that sort of thing, but I do. So that makes it really easy for us to coordinate on it, because I can write up the gag and go, hey, this is what we want to do. Take a look, and she just goes from there and interprets what we've got. And this one, there we go. All right, Yeah.
Nice.
Because that is what a rust monster looks like. If he's being really, really cute with those antennas. And so it's fun for her because I know the monsters. I know their ecology. I know what they're about. And I can come up with a gag like this. And then all she needs to know is, what does a rust monster look like? And I'm guessing that he eats metal and turns it to rust. So I'm going to have corroded weapons and stuff. Got it. And the idea too is we're also trying to create these so that you don't have to be a gamer to get the joke.
Yep.
Nice. Where are these being published at?
This one is in Knights of the Dinner Table number 320. We gave a bunch of these one panels off to Jolly Blackburn for Knights of the Dinner Table, his gaming mag that he puts out. And he has a page called Parting Shots where he runs other people's like one panel strips. And so we did a bunch of Adventures in Dungeoneering as one panel strips for him to because he's a great guy, and we want to support his independent press too. So and this also led to Dee came to me at one point and said, we still have some projects in the slate, but moving forward, I still want to work with you, but I want to do something easier. I want it to be less work intensive. A Giant Girl Adventures page is super work intensive. It is a lot. Whereas the Adventures in Dungeoneering, she was like, well, should I add tones to them? I'm like, no, these are black and white strips. It's ink or nothing. And she was like, okay. Because it saves time. It's
Nice.
it's not
and it
as
still looks
detailed.
great. That was a great panel and funny, and like it tells the story. It's a great little strip.
And she can do 2 of those in an afternoon without any real strain from start to finish. I can give her the script. We sit there and chat while she's drawing, and she can knock these out 2 in an afternoon. She gets that endorphin buzz, and the project is still continuing apace, even though we're maybe a year out from really dedicating any serious time to that one. I'd say give or take on our schedule.
Every now and again, when we're in between something else, and we need like the weekend to be like, we need a shot in the arm of creative juice. We'll pump out a couple.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sometimes I'll very specifically get together and go, hey, the format that we came up with has different script lengths in it, and so it's an interesting writing exercise as well. And so we'll get together and I'll go, hey, let's do something creative and constructive to start off. First hour, let's just knock out a week's worth of Adventures in Dungeoneering strips. And we hammer at them a little, we get it done, we feel good about it, and other times I'll come back and go, hey, when we're getting together today, how about if we just do an Adventures in Dungeoneering one panel, because it's quick, it's fast, you enjoy them. Because again, pay attention to a lot of writers will say these magic words, my artist. Oh yeah, I was talking to my artist the other day. You never say that. Never say that. They're not your artist. They're an artist who is choosing to work with you right now.
I've never thought so many people say that. That is a weird, like they also have a name. You could use their name.
A lot of writers look at it that way, and I look at it as a very different proposition. Oh, look, there's her Alex Ross pose. I look at it as a very different proposition in that your creative partners, you have to take care of each other. You have to look out for each other. You have to be aware of each other. And a lot of that is knowing when, hey, let's get a little win today. It's been a hard week. How about if we get a little win today? Whereas sometimes you can go, okay, we got to put the nose to the grindstone. We're going to knock these sequences of things out. When is going to be a good time for that? You don't say it's got to happen now, because if you do, you're being dictatorial. You're not being collaborative. And I think that's the key. You also have to remember that you're in a collaboration here. Just because you're paying an artist, it doesn't mean squat. They are choosing to collaborate with you, and they can choose to not collaborate with you just as quickly.
Yeah.
And a lot of artists are very patient, but at the same time, take care of the people who are working with you, and they in turn will take care of you. I got amazing, spectacular, breathtaking art out of Dee. And a lot of that was in knowing, hey, okay, you know what? You're starting to burn out here. Let's go ahead, put the comic on hiatus for about 2 months, let you catch up, get a breather, get a couple of pages ahead, and, just so that you can tend to some other stuff in your life. Ooh, I didn't want to ask, but yeah, that sounds great. Know when to say when. Know when their needs are more important than the needs of the project. And you will get so much better results. It'll take a long time. This was 5 years in the making. This was not a fast book. This was not a fast project at all.
Well, I mean, comics is a slow moving industry. A lot of people, which is weird because there's always fucking intense deadlines, but everything moves so damn slow. It's like it moves slow for years, and then everything has to happen now. It's like comics is so fucking weird. But yeah, I get you. It's one of my new the new places I'm working and working with Laurie, that's they both told me, like, because no one like about knowing me like before, and they were like, dude, if you get overwhelmed, let us know. If you can't, if you're drowning, let us know. And other people have told me to say that too, but I was scared to say it. I didn't feel like I could say it. So anyway, having those kind of people around you to work with, in your corner, supporting you, sharing the same title page and stuff. Yeah, that means a lot. And like you said, it's the comic may take longer, but the results show too. And that's what matters. Like I would much rather, and the video game world is a lot like people, like when they used to delay video games, and most of the time when like people delayed video games, they were happy because it was like, oh cool, they're not going to rush it. I would rather put off production and get something that's going to be fun and worthwhile, right? And that I can have around for a while. Same with a book, right? I would much rather have a Kickstarter project show up a couple months late, because like, oh, this printer fucked up and we went with someone who didn't, now the book looks, but and that stuff happens all the time. So like, especially if you're honest with people, I think that's the main thing about Kickstarter too. If you run into issues, it is, obviously you wouldn't say like, well, someone on the team had another panic attack. Thanks, Blake. Or, but you'd be like, there's some illness on the team and we're having to take care of things. Production's a couple weeks behind, there's things you can say, you could be honest with your audience, and people are like, shit, they're real. They're honest. It's like, we're family, and like, those kind of delays add to the Kickstarter experience. I feel like, especially like you have to find like a new artist, or not a new artist, but like, like a new printer or something. And it's like, you as like a backer, you're seeing those updates. You're kind of getting exciting. Anyway, a long way to tell you to be honest with your backers and agree with you. But that's where I was going. I've kept you I've kept you way longer than Dee was yawning, and but I know it's getting late. I'm just kidding. This was so fun. And it was actually I got to meet Dee before, but Sabrina, it was so great to meet you. It's been so fun working with you, working on this campaign. Like I know it's my updates are cheesy, right? But like, Giant Girl's fucking stomping through Kickstarter and continues to. Like we're marching to 20K. It's happening. Put the vibes out there. But for real, the next unlock, you're all gonna shit bricks. Or actually you're gonna shit a 20-sided die, probably, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, this was so fun. As the polite host that I am, I want you to let everybody know like best places to follow you, keep track of you, and to keep track of Giant Girl in the future. Sabrina, going to start with you.
GiantGirlAdventures.com is where we generally run the webcomic. The archives are there. You're more than welcome to catch up on back issues. They're not great archives, but they're there. I do need some web work on it. And that's mostly where you can find my work for the time being. I do have some Laguna Studios projects coming out in the future, but they're not here nor there. Dee, on the other hand,
has a lot of things going on outside of GiantGirlAdventures.com, where you can read the previous work that Sabrina and I have done together. There is FindingD.com, which is a weekly webcomic. It's been running since 2017 now. The ins and outs of coming out as transgender in your 40s and trying to make it into comics. It's a slice of life
in your
comic
50s.
Oh, I came out in my 40s. I am now in my 50s.
and trying to make it in comics in your 50s.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
Yes.
You gotta update the pitch, D.
I need to rework the pitch. I need to rework the elevator pitch.
Oh, man.
Let's see. My third novel, The Knights of Argentum, Volume 3 of the Haven Wolf Chronicles, premieres Saturday in Oil City, Pennsylvania at the Oil Region Festival of the Book. It's outside of our library. There's a big festival, all kinds of local authors. I will be there with copies of the brand new novel. So that is dropping. It is I am really, really proud of this one. It's very exciting, very thrilling. There's laughs, there's horror, there is action, and all kinds of horrible crap that happen in this book that you have to read it to believe it. Yeah, stuff. Probably got more stuff.
And the Kickstarter is live.
Yes.
And the Kickstarter links are long and annoying, but if you go to the YouTube description, or if you're watching this on Facebook in the Facebook description, or if you follow either of these two talented, wonderful human beings, everybody's been real great about sharing links. But anyway, you can find links in the descriptions, links everywhere. Highly encourage you to check out the campaign page. It's a beautiful page.
Kickstarter, baby. It's super easy. GGA Kickstarter.
Oh, nice.
.com.
All about the reduced size URLs.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what you got to get those glamour links. They're nice. All right. GGA Kickstarter. Golf Alpha. Nice. Hell yeah. It's an awesome book. It's been an honor and joy working on it with you both. For real. And watching the campaign take, it's been fun. It's been awesome. And I wish Laurie was here, because I was going to get cheesy on her, because like she gave me a shot and was like, will you design that Kickstarter page for Giant Girl? And I was like, fuck you, dude. Like, I don't do that. I was like, I make like social media things for people sometimes. But anyway, like I pitched her a template, and y'all liked it and gave me a shot, and we made the page and doing the updates and helping with the campaign. It's been fun. And, it's weird. I got fired a few months ago, and it feels like I've been getting a lot of shots, and I just want everybody to know I'm very thankful and I appreciate it. So.
Thank you for your hard work. We appreciate it.
No, I didn't want to get cheesy, but it really is. It's cool. It's cool. Comics is a cool place. And I'm having a blast working with Laurie. So if Sabrina, we'll be working together in the future, maybe doing some stuff. So
entirely possible.
I don't ever know what goes on. I just get an email some days, and then no, I'm just kidding.
I'm learning. You choose to accept it.
Yeah, Laurie's bringing me on like little by little, incrementally, which is cool. Like it works. So yeah, Laguna Studios is awesome. Giant Girl is awesome. Dee, you're amazing. Sabrina, you're amazing. This was so awesome. I really appreciate everybody who was in the chat. Like, thank you everybody for hanging out. TJ showing up with some love. Appreciate you, dude. Unless anybody has anything else left to say, I'll set everyone free, and we can go find hot dogs or grilled cheeses or grilled cheese hot dogs. Have a night.
We're off to Slam Evil.
Hell yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Love more, hate less, read books. We'll see you next Wednesday.